friend next to him will be like, dude, you let him do that to you? Oh my God, that was a total pussy. Will totally throw down on that dude. So as not to be humiliated in front of his friend. And if he gets stabbed through the testicle, who cares? He will go home with a torn scrotum, but an intact rep. Sit down. And that's why they're important. Recruit them, and so that way when you be like, oh my God, check, we gotta destroy the stairs. And man, I wish I could do it. I'm just this nerd who looks like Doctor Who. I wish we had a real man who could do it. And Chet would be like, stand aside. Yes, sir. Oh, what do you do when the government loses control? Oh, the government will never lose control. Haven't you heard of Hurricane Katrina? They were on that day one. The government? Yeah, because let me tell you something. And that was not zombies, that was water. I thought the government knew of the existence of water, and I was wrong. Here's what you do. For some time, assume that they're not coming for you. All right? Assume that you're going to have to rely on yourself. And if they do happen to show up on day 4, like they really did, then great, then you're golden. All right? And that'll happen. On day 4 of the zombie outbreak, the president will show up with the director of FEMA and say, you're doing a heck of a job. But for the moment, you're on your own. You and the doctor. And some jocks. Yes, miss. Oh, how it originated? I have no idea. Listen, like we were talking about, we still don't know what's happening with that. When I was a kid, we all thought it was a French-Canadian airline attendant who had sex with a green monkey. Seriously. Google French-Canadian airline attendant and green monkey. And seriously, nobody knows where it comes from. Nobody knows where half the diseases come from. Every year they sort of pop up. Before any of us were born, there was something called the Spanish flu. Killed more people than AIDS and the Black Death combined. This was in the 20th century. And we actually knew about medicine. Nobody knows where it came from. They used to think it started in Europe, maybe China, maybe the US. Nobody knows. There was a virus called Ebola. Ever heard of it? Yeah, you all heard of the different names? Ebola Zaire, Ebola Sudan, Ebola Reston, as in Reston, Virginia. Sleep tight, everybody. They tracked its origin to a cave in Kenya. Kenya! They tracked it to a cave in Kenya, and the CDC went through that cave with a fine-tooth comb, because people literally would go into that cave, come out with Ebola. They didn't find anything. Yay! So I have no idea.
Look at so enthused.
I don't care. I'm more concerned about keeping you alive. Yes, miss. What drives zombies to eat brains? You got that from Return of the Living Dead, didn't you? Yes, you did. Don't deny it. There was a movie called Return of the Living Dead, and it was, in my humble opinion, the possibly worst zombie movie ever made. If zombies were a race, that movie would be racist. That movie set zombie lore back 30 years because it made it campy and cute and silly. It essentially did what the 1960s Batman show did for The Dark Knight. It just sort of castrated it. Although it was what? No, it wasn't. It was written by John A. Russo, who was the co-writer with George Romero on his movie. As a matter of fact, young lady, stand up, you're about to get schooled. I encourage all of you to get out your PDAs and iPhones and back this up with me. In 1985, 2 zombie movies came out. One was Return of the Living Dead, written written by John Russo, who was the co-writer with Romero on Night of the Living Dead. Another zombie movie came out pretty much the same time, which was Day of the Dead by George Romero. Trust me, I know George. We're buddies. I met him like 4 times. So, here's the deal. I understand, but no, I will have to correct you on that. It was actually done by his other writer. And in fact, that guy took the rules that he invented with George Romero and completely threw them out the window. So here's the deal with that movie and why it was made by George Romero. All right? As a matter of fact, Hunter, are you checking this out right now? Okay, good. No, because I don't want to embarrass you on this. I just, we all need to get our facts right? Because, the thing is, Russo and Romero had a big falling out. And if you talk to Russo to this day, he'll be like, oh, I talked to George Romero, everything he knows. So it was 2 completely different movies. In Day of the Dead, it's the strict Romero rules. It's transferred by a virus, and you shoot him in the head. And in the other one, I don't know what they were thinking. In Return of the Living Dead, oh my God, first of all, you can set them on fire, and the ashes go up in the sky, and then the rain comes down, and whatever it falls on turns the dead bodies who've been buried in coffins into zombies. Way to be realistic. And that wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be funny. In fact, its slogan, do you remember what its slogan was? Exactly. Its slogan was, they're back from the grave and ready to party. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I saw that, I was like, are you kidding? This is something that is keeping me awake at night. And somebody comes along and thinks it's cute, funny, more brains. More brains don't even work. Because if a zombie outbreak is created by an infected brain, how would eating out the brain of someone turn them into a zombie? It doesn't even make sense. What's your name? Jasmine, Wildflower, would you want to come together? No, because this is important, because I don't want anyone going on the internet saying, oh my God, Brooks totally just wailed on this poor girl. Because, no, I want to say that we're a couple seconds here. Let me help you out. Jasmine Wildflower, everyone. Return of the Living Dead, directed by Dan O'Bannon, produced by Tom Fox and Greg Henderson, screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, story by John A. Russo, Russell Streiner, Rudy Ricci. All right, so we now have the first core of what is going to be a zombie team. We've got Wildflower and Luger. Yes, sir. Right. You're into it, and you're awesome team who's men and women and their friends. What are you going to do with the baby? I don't know. Raise them to be people? Educate them and love them and nurture them? What is the chances? The chances are what we make of it. What country do you live in, miss? Come on, I don't know about you, but I live in America. Yes, we can. Go to Europe. That's what they believe. Go to France. Oh boy, Europe. When the zombies rise, we are up dead. I'm sorry. And look, and I've actually lived in Europe. And
that's Brian.
Yeah,
Brian's over there.
Brian's
over there.
And one day we'll wake up and realize that life is shite, and it's all one big noisy song. No! We all have a choice. And I choose survival. I choose repopulation. I do not choose looting, and that's your choice. I choose a world in which Jasmine Wildflower can walk tall and proud through the post-apocalyptic zombie nightmare and say, I am a human being and I am the future. mean, like, improvisation is great on stage at a comedy club, not so much in a zombie outbreak. So let's say you take it over somewhere, you're like, all right, got before. And then eventually you're like, oh my God, I didn't think about sewage. And eventually all this species is going to kill me. So I have to get out of here. Well, if you can, have a plan B. Think about where you're going. Think about how you're going to get there. Think about what you're going to do when you get there. Have that plan B ready. And maybe not the worst idea, maybe have some supplies waiting for you when you get there. This is actually something our ancestors used to do, you know, if you believe in all that. Anyway, some people believe that what our ancestors used to do when we were hunter-gatherers was cache food and weapons and communications. So that way, let's say if they had to leave their camp because of whatever, that they had some place already waiting for them. So think about that. Think about, all right, where am I going to go? How am I going to get there? Anyone else? Yes, miss. What's my zombie plan? As in, where am I going to go? Is it where to go find me? That's a great question. Next question. Yes, do zombies die in space?
Anything.
No, that's an excellent question because, in the words of the doctor in Voyager, remember that when he was dissecting the Borg? And he goes, nothing like the vacuum of space to preserve a corpse. I would suspect probably not. I would suspect they freeze just like as they would freeze on Earth. And so if you, let's say, have a zombie and shot it out into space, and then 100 years from now, you know, Hunter's grandson was like, what is this thing falling to Earth? And he opens up the coffin, and he's, wait a minute, my grandfather warned me about this. Yeah, I'm not gonna coffin, come on, dude. Coffins flying in space? Did you see Star Trek 2? Torpedo tube. It was his coffin. They shot him there, and then Christopher Lloyd from Taxi was a Klingon. Anyway, they will freeze. I assume they will survive. Anyone else? Yes, sir. No, the reason that I've written about that zombies consume people is not in order to feed, to build themselves up. It's to pass on the virus. See, the way I look at zombies is like they're just walking viruses. That's why zombies scare me so much. It's the concept of the virus. It's the concept of spreading. So therefore, they do it to obey what's called their biological imperative. And they do it just to spread the virus. Exactly. See, that's why she's up here. Yes, sir.